Hi everyone and welcome to Bradgate Park. We are live here today. My name's Jack Matthews. I am the Charnwood Forest Geoheritage Interpretation and Conservation Area. Hopefully you can hear me okay in this first of what we hope to be many live updates of what is going on in the Geopark. A little bit impromptu, but it gives you a chance, if you're joining us live, to ask any questions. If you put them up in the comments, we'll hopefully be able to grab them as the stream is going on and hopefully reply to as many as possible. But we want to grab these opportunities not only to show lovely places in the Geopark that you can come and see this beautiful area of Leicestershire and celebrate it with us, but also to share some of the news that's happening around the Geopark. So I wanted to give you a few little updates of what is going on. My colleague Carolyn is our Community Engagement Officer and is doing some brilliant work at the moment, particularly around enriching Charnwood Forest's orchards. So if you're interested in that project, there's going to be more news coming out on that, and do follow our social media because we're working very closely with a number of villages and parishes, both to celebrate the orchards that already exist in Charnwood Forest and indeed to plant some more. My colleague Susan, who is Education Officer, has been working very closely with a number of schools. We're in contact with many, and there's now a schools newsletter. If you are a teacher and you would like to get that, please do leave us a comment and we will keep you updated with all our education work, celebrating the geology, the Stone Age history, Saxons and Vikings, and indeed so much more. And we've been very pleased to go to a number of schools recently. I'm going to give a shout out to Richard Hill Primary School in Thurkeston, where we're very pleased both to give an assembly on Saxons and Vikings recently, and also we had a beautiful afternoon discussing the amazing local rocks of Charnwood Forest. And myself, as Geoheritage Officer, we've been working to celebrate and protect the internationally significant geology of Charnwood Forest. And any visitors to the Outwards recently will have seen the new panels that are up in the cafe there. So if you're out for a lovely walk, great outdoor landscape, great wildlife and great geology, and you fancy a beautiful sandwich or a cup of tea or coffee, go to Olivia's Cafe in the visitor centre and you can find a little bit more about the story of why Charnwood Forest's fossils are so important. And while we're on that, I will tell you a little bit about the amazing geology of Bradgate Park. We're in the south of the Geopark here in Charnwood Forest, and in this beautiful deer park on this wonderful spring day, you can see why it is an absolute favourite for people to visit from all around, not just from the nearby cities of Leicester, towns of Loughborough, close, a bit further away, Derby, but people from all over Britain love to visit this site. And if you look behind me, you can see some of the particular pieces of cultural heritage that are on the landscape. Behind me is Old John Tower on the right-hand side, probably one of the most prominent landmarks in the county. And on the left-hand side there is the memorial to the Leicestershire Yeomanry, a bit of kind of very important site there to remember those that are no longer with us. And you can also see behind me the very stereotypical rocky crags that we find all across Charnwood Forest and really set it apart as the unexpected uplands in an area that is otherwise fairly low-lying. The rocks around me are around 560 million years old, but one of the brilliant things about Bradgate Park is you can experience all sorts of the geology that you can get across the rest of Charnwood Forest. So not only can you see the 560 million year old rocks behind me, you can also see down by Lady Jane Grey's house, you can see the old Mark Theodolite, probably around the same age, but that is a totally different rock. That was an intrusive igneous rock, we say as a geologist. It's where magma cooled underneath the Earth's surface and became rock. But it's quite unusual in that rather than crystals forming against each other with fairly flat edges at a microscopic level, it has what's called a granipheric texture. That's your word of the day. And the feldspars and the quartz minerals are kind of interfingered in each other, very strange. It leads to an incredibly hard rock, and that's why it's been quarried at a number of sites around Charnwood Forest, most prominently in Markfield, where it gets its name. And then in the most southern part of Bradgate Park, we find some Cambrian rocks, slightly younger, probably around 510, 520 million years old, a grit stone that was probably deposited in a shallow sea. And then the River Lynn, many of you that have walked either from the Newton Linford or the Hallgates car park will have seen the river that flows parallel to that track to take you to the deer barn. That is tracing the course of an ancient river from 250 million years ago. And there are all sorts of Triassic deposits there, probably 230, 240 million years ago. You can tell the numbers are big here. We have old rocks, and we have many of them, and we have a lot of what we call geodiversity in a small area. So just in an afternoon out, and what a wonderful afternoon it is, you can go for a hike here, have a look around, see many different rock types, see the beautiful deer that are still here and managed so well by the team at the Bradgate Park Trust. And then why not stop in at the deer barn as well? There's a brilliant visitor centre where you can learn a little bit more, not only about the rocks and the very important fossils that are found within them, some of the oldest evidence of animal fossils anywhere in the world, but you can also learn about the Ice Age history around here, and also how the rocks have helped shape the communities around here. We have a beautiful site just a short walk from here in Swidland Woods, where the stone there, the slate, the Cambrian Swidland slate, was quarried and was used for roofing not only around Leicestershire, but all around the country. And indeed, St Pancras Station in London was originally tiled in Swidland slate from Charnwood Forest. As you can see, there are so many stories to tell about the geology of Charnwood Forest. It's what we're trying to do in the Geopark, but also make those important connections to community, to culture, to food, and so many other aspects of this brilliant area. Please do continue to follow along on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. We'll keep those updates coming on all the projects we're working on. We're increasingly interested to hear your thoughts in what's going on. We want to work closely with communities. So if you have any questions at all, please don't hesitate to be in touch. And we'll be in touch again soon with one of these impromptu live updates. Thank you very much.